What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to the first episode of the new wrestling podcast. I'm not calling it a wrestling pod anymore. I think that was a shite name. Got to think of a new name for it. I've got a couple of ideas. Top Rope Podcast. Tom come up with the number one contender cast. I quite like the idea of calling it No Holds Barred, but I'm really not too sure. If you guys got any catchy wrestling related names for this wrestling related podcast, feel free to put it in the comment section of this video, and I may use your selection. You never know. So, what are we going to talk about? Wrestling, maybe? Sunday, there's a pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell. Now, it's a little bit annoying because having a whole Hell in a Cell pay-per-view concept just annoys me. Like back in the day, hate to use the whole during the Attitude Era shit, but during the Attitude Era, the Hell in a Cell match was used to sort of be the climax of a feud. It was the way to settle the score of like a 3 or maybe even a 4-month feud. But now the Hell in a Cell has lost its dramatic effect because in one night we're going to have like 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches, and over the course of the time that they've been having these Hell in a Cell pay-per-view matches, I think it's got less and less significant. Anyway, that's another subject matter. From what I can see so far, there are only 5 matches confirmed, and I'm just going to quickly run through them, give my thoughts on the feuds, and go through some predictions. Hopefully I can get 5 out of 5. I don't see why I shouldn't. Looking at this card, I'm not too sure. I don't think it's the best Hell in a Cell card they've had for a while, but we'll go through them now. So we've got, in a standard singles match, Alberto Del Rio versus Randy Orton. Now, anything including these two guys, I'm really not too fussed about. I mean, why should I care about Del Rio thinking he's the next Apex Predator? I just really don't care. He's not coming across as a bad villain or anything, but it's not, at least he ain't feuding with Sheamus. God, that's a boring feud, but I think this one I care even less about somehow. It's amazing. I mean, Del Rio's gone round and has attacked him and he's gone, I am the Apex Predator, and he's going on a mad one trying to prove himself. But the only thing I like about this feud is Ricardo Rodriguez. I'll tell you what, I love that guy. He's awesome. They should put him in a mask and have him as a wrestler, because he is actually a very good wrestler, and he's just so funny throughout this feud. Like his little remarks and the faces he pulls and the stuff he comes up with. I think Ricardo versus Randy will be a better match, I reckon. But who do I think is going to win? I think it's got to be Alberto Del Rio, to be honest, because if they're trying to build him up as a bad guy, trying to make him as a credible heel, they need to give him this win, because why go through the past 3 or 4 weeks, making Del Rio look like a badass and then have him lose? It just doesn't make sense to me. And Randy Orton's going to be away shooting some movies soon, so he's going to be having some time off. I don't see the point in having Randy Orton win if he's taking time off to make movies. It just does nothing. So Alberto Del Rio wins by maybe a submission or maybe even a cheeky DQ. I think a DQ win for Del Rio would make more sense, because Randy Orton can go away, do his films, and come back and be like, oh, well, you never actually beat me, and it can continue the feud. I can see them trying to do that, but either way, I think Del Rio's picking up the win. Rodriguez will probably have some kind of influence on the outcome. I can imagine there being a bit of a screw job finish in that one. So yeah, Del Rio by DQ. There you go, that's my prediction. Next up is a feud which I do quite care about in a funny way, because it's to do with the tag team division. They've been building this up quite nicely with the whole tag team tournament for the number one contendership. There's some good teams in this tournament, or there's only 2 teams left, but the way they've built Team Rhodes Scholars together with Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow, I think they make a really good team, despite the gay cartwheel at the end of every match that they have. But they work really well as a team. At first, I didn't think they suited. I don't like it when they just chuck 2 random guys together and try to force them into a team. But in the short space of time that those 2 have been teaming together, I quite like it, because I mean, Sandow is just amazing. He's cool. He's going to be huge pretty soon, and I think him being in a tag team just builds up his CV, if you know what I mean. It helps build his reputation, helps him get heat from the crowd, because he's going up against a lot of the crowd favourites. He's one of the best he's one of the best on the current roster when it comes to talking on the mic. I think technically he's a really good wrestler, and they always say that he's got an aggressive style through training with Killer Kowalski, and it's quite good that they actually even mention that, but it's mostly JR saying that. But I like Sandow and I like Rhodes as well, but I think this is better for Sandow than it is Rhodes, this team. Because we all know Rhodes has got a good future. He was the Intercontinental Champion for a very long time, brought back the Classic IC title. He's already had tag team championships with Ted DiBiase. And then, of course, you got Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan and Kane. Flipping hilarious stuff. I'm the tag team champions. I'm the tag team champions. And Daniel Bryan is my favourite guy on the entire roster at the minute. He's hilarious. And I like the fact that no one fully knows if he's babyface or heel, because he's like a little tweener. He's in the middle. And I don't think you need to be face or heel as long as you're entertaining, man. And when he comes down and says things like, world's toughest vegan, and whereas like, I am handsome, I have a brilliant beard, I just think it's absolutely brilliant. And some of the goat face stuff is brilliant. And I think Kane does a really good job of, well, just being funny, really. I think Kane as a comedy character can be good. Eventually he's going to be his typical monster, destroy, chokeslam everybody, but for now I think them two are working really, really well. I quite like the tag team titles being on them, and it does bring a bit of prestige back to the tag team division, because for years it has been shot to pieces. And it's quite good that they put a lot of emphasis on it with the tag team tournaments. I mean, you had Sin Cara and Mysterio, you had Gabriel, Tyson Kidd, the Usos, Primo and Epico, the prime time bloody players, Black John Cena and the other dude. I think they did a really good job of building it up, and apparently, I'm doing my finger quote thing here, but apparently that's all to do with Triple H wanting to rebuild the tag team division. Eventually they're going to need to slap those titles on a proper tag team, someone like the Usos, someone like someone like Primo and Epico. That's what I was looking for. They're genuine tag teams, whereas the four guys in this match are single stars slapped together to try and boost up the title. I can see what they're doing. Eventually, a confirmed tag team will take the titles. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't bring, what's their names? They're down in NXT, the Ascension. I think eventually the Ascension are a tag team. One of them's English. I can't remember their names, but they're quite good. They're like a gothic-y, emo, vampire-ish kind of team. They are quite freaky. Their entrance is pretty cool. Some people say it's ripping off the Undertaker's entrance with the lighting, the smoke, the dramatic music, but eventually they're going to come through. I mean, you've got Antonio Cesaro and Cassius Ohno on payroll. They were one of the best tag teams I've ever seen down in Ring of Honor, Kings of Wrestling. Once Cesaro's got rid of this US title, I would love to see them two tag team together in the WWE, because their chemistry is amazing. I think if they can bring them into competition with other tag teams, that could be quite cool. So the future for the tag team division is looking quite good. And like I said, the feud between Team Rhodes Scholars and Team Hell No, it's been quite good. It looks like in the build-up, Team Hell No are a bit behind, because they're saying, oh, they're the most dysfunctional tag team. So eventually Bryan and Kane are probably going to feud, but I don't think it's yet. I think really, my head's saying one thing, and like my fan side is saying one thing. I want Team Hell No to win because I'm more fans of them, but I think it makes more sense Cody Rhodes and Sandow taking championships, and then maybe having a bit of banter between Kane and Bryan together. It's a tough one. This is the toughest one on the card for me to call, but make a decision. Team Hell No to retain, just by pinfall. The next one that I've got on here is the Intercontinental title match, Kofi Kingston versus The Miz. Now, these two have had quite a good feud. It's good to see Kofi Kingston being taken seriously as a singles competitor again. If any of you guys saw their new show, Main Event, where Kofi won the title from The Miz, he won with just an absolutely sick Trouble in Paradise. I know like a lot of people go, well, it's fake. But the thing is, he genuinely knocked him out. That wasn't meant to happen. It was the most sickest looking kick I've seen since Benjamin Shawn Michaels on Raw, God knows when was it, 2004 I think, but that super kick was pretty sick. But this Trouble in Paradise, man, they got the camera angle perfect, it made a fucking sick sound, and The Miz, his face was busted open. I thought he was out cold, I thought for sure he was going to be concussed, but turns out he was cleared to wrestle on Raw. But they've really made it a big point about that title. You know, when Kofi won it from The Miz, was it Matt Striker, come to the ring and interviewed him straight away, and he was Kingston was being all passionate, saying how happy he is to be the champion. So like I said, it's good to pardon me, it's good to see him happy about having the title, being taken more seriously. The Miz is obviously pissed off, he's lost his championship, and The Miz does his job really well. I think on the mic, Miz is another one that stands out as a good talker. And they're really putting over the importance of that title. The Miz is depressed that he's lost it, Kofi's happy he's won it, but I think it's far too early for Kingston to lose it. So I'm going with Kingston to win this by another Trouble in Paradise. But then again, would they have Kingston beat The Miz 3 times in a row? I would hope so. If they want to keep the feud going, put it back on Miz, and then Kofi chooses Miz again for the title. Oh no, this is actually another tough one. Now, Kofi Kingston to win, because he's just won it. It's the Miz's rematch. Yeah, Kingston to win. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Miz won it and there was a bit more of an ongoing feud between them. Final decision. Final answer. Kingston to win. World Heavyweight Championship match. Sheamus against the Big and Slow, Big Show. I do not give a fuck about this feud at all. I don't like Sheamus. I think he's hokey. He's boring. He's corny. He puts on some good matches when he's with the right people, but I can't take him seriously. He's just a joke. He's just another John Cena to me. When he's talking, when he's wrestling, it's just like, oh, really? I mean, Sheamus had some good matches earlier on in the year against the likes of Daniel Bryan. He's had a couple of really good matches with Ziggler and Punk, but I think overall, I don't like him with that championship, Sheamus. I don't know what it is. It's just this corniness. It's not believable whatsoever. And one of the main reasons he's got that title is because he's so chummy with Triple H, who practically runs the bloody show now. And Big Show, he's just too old. He's got to retire. He looks out of shape. He looks too fat. He's always been a big dude. I mean, he's 7 foot, 440, 450 pounds. He's going to be big, but it's got mostly flabby now. I mean, his gut hangs over the top rope. And JR a couple of weeks ago on Raw said he's in the best shape of his life. I mean, I don't know if he's gone blind in his old age, old JR, because he ain't in the best shape of his life, Big Show. I can't see Big Show winning this. I hope he doesn't. I think Sheamus will retain. Eventually, I think Sheamus is going to drop the belt to Wade Barrett. Maybe even Ziggler, because the whole briefcase thing, because they're all saying now, will Ziggler cash in at Hell in a Cell? I'm not sure. Maybe not. What I could see happening is, I'll tell you what could happen. I just thought about this. Big Show won the belt off Mark Henry. 45 seconds later, Daniel Bryan cashes in, wins it, and this is where the whole 45-second tease comes in for Big Show. That could happen again with Dolph Ziggler. Oh, yeah, maybe. This is a weird prediction. If I'm spot on right with this, I'll be well chuffed. Big Show to beat Sheamus for the championship. Sheamus to get pissed, knock out Big Show. Ziggler comes down, cashes in, and I bet it's under 45 seconds. Now that would not surprise me at all. That's a weird prediction. It's quite an in-depth prediction, but I think that's probably the most likely outcome. I reckon. Because they've been saying quite a lot now. Ziggler is going to cash in. Ziggler's doing radio shows and interviews everywhere, and everyone's saying, "Oh, are you cashing in? Are you cashing in?" He says, "Well, yeah, possibly." They've not done that much. Well, as much as this on any other pay-per-view since he's won it at Money in the Bank. So I think Ziggler might be walking out with a championship. You know. The main event for once, CM Punk is the main event on a pay-per-view. Probably because there's no John Cena on the card at all, but well, he'll be on the show. He's like AIDS is everywhere, John Cena. But yeah, CM Punk versus Ryback. It's good to see someone else in the title picture, someone brand new. well, say brand new. He's been with the company for a fair few years now, old Ryback. But yeah, well, someone new in a title picture. It's not John Cena, thank God. And I like Ryback. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think the Goldberg comparisons are bloody stupid. Whoever says he reminds you of Goldberg, get a grip. Because he's bald and he's intense and he's winning does not mean he's Goldberg. Give over. I mean, Samoa Joe had like a blooming God knows how long title unbeaten run in TNA. Is he a Goldberg on the undefeated streak? Crimson, 44 matches unbeaten. Is he another Goldberg? No. Undefeated streak does not mean, oh, he's the next Goldberg. Get over it. Anyway, I can't see Ryback winning. I think the title needs to stay on Punk until at least the Rumble, and I reckon he'll drop it to The Rock there, but that might be too obvious. But I don't see a clean finish. I know it's in Hell in a Cell, it should be, but I don't think it is, because I mean, you've got to put the Paul Heyman factor in there. Vicky Guerrero is the new GM, more likely to side with a heel. CM Punk's going to retain, but I don't think he'll pin Ryback at all. I think there'll be some sort of brawl and the match will just get scrapped. I think someone might climb over the cell and just beat people up. I mean, people have been saying about Brock Lesnar coming back and helping out because he's obviously a Paul Heyman guy. I'm not too sure about Lesnar because he's on a limited amount of dates on his contract, so I can't imagine them wasting a date to bring Lesnar in for it. Shit, one thought even crossed my mind a few weeks ago. What about a real big swerve? Ryback turning heel and becoming a Paul Heyman guy and starting up a little faction of Ryback, Punk and Heyman. I mean, we all know, well, any wrestling fan for the last few years since Punk's been there would know that he's really influential when it comes to starting factions. Straight Edge Society, the New Nexus, and they always talked about how easily it could brainwash people. So what if in some way, in some really sick, cool plan, he's persuaded Ryback to throw the match? So just imagine this scenario. Ryback's winning the match. You think Ryback's going to win it. Maybe he has him up for his shell shock finisher. Drops him, and then they shake hands, or they have some weird ceremony where it's obvious they've sort of teamed up, you know? That wouldn't surprise me either. So there's so many different outcomes. I mean, I think overall Punk's walking out as champion. It's 340 odd days as champion. To drop it to Ryback, I don't think that's happening. I think it's too early in Ryback's career to win a belt. He has got a really long unbeaten streak, but most of it is against random local independent wrestlers. There's not many serious people on the roster he's beaten. I mean, Tenzai, he's beaten Tenzai. Who else has he beaten? He's beaten The Miz. He's beaten a couple of people that are on the main roster, but mostly it's all jobbers and local wrestlers. So he doesn't really deserve the title, if that makes sense. He's not gone through any decent mid-carders or upper mid-carders. So if he had a feud with someone like, I don't know, someone in like Kane's position or something, or like stature, if you know what I mean. If he went up against an upper mid-card player and knocked him out, then you might think, oh, he is a contender. But because it's against weak opposition, I don't think he deserves it. So Punk's walking out as champion, possibly aligned with Ryback, or someone interferes. It will not be a clean victory either way. So that's Hell in a Cell in a nutshell for me. I mean, it's still early days yet. I mean, we've got a SmackDown to go. There might be a few more matches added onto the card. I mean, Ziggler hasn't got a match. Barrett hasn't got a match. They might throw in another tag team match on there. I don't even think they've confirmed a Divas match. And judging by some of the random backstage brawls, it looks like Caitlyn might have a match with Eve. There's no Antonio Cesaro on there, so he may be defending against perhaps Justin Gabriel, because Gabriel got a midweek win over him. So then there could be a few more matches. I mean, they'll probably save a match or two for the YouTube pre-show, which they're starting to do a lot more of now, which I think they should defend Zack Ryder's Internet Championship on, but never mind. But yeah, expect a few more matches to be confirmed. If there is, I'll do maybe another little video or just tweet out my thoughts. But that's it for episode 1 of No Holds Barred. I'm not sure if that's the name of it yet. If you've got any questions for me or thoughts on what I've said, what are your predictions, whack it in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to the show, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to try and spread it, because this is my new channel. I'm still trying to get people to come over and subscribe to it. So thanks for watching or listening, whatever you're doing. Take it easy. See you soon.